Welcome, Rando fans, to SpeedGaming Prime for Game 1 of this semi-final Link to the Past Randomizer Tournament. We've got daaanty versus zelgadissan for you here today. My name is Tyler Saul. I am joined in the booth by Slim Kirby. Slim, how are you?
I am doing just fine, Tyler. Thank you so much for introducing. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to this match as well. We are in the semifinals, as you can see from the top of the stream there. So just got a few more matchups left before the winner of this tournament is decided. So it's really, really exciting to see how this is going to play out.
Yeah, we started with 128 runners. We are down to 4. daaanty and zelgadissan in this matchup. The other semifinal, Gamachu and Obscure Lifeform. Obscure, bit of a Cinderella at this point, but he's been playing great. 4 extremely talented runners, and we should be underway here momentarily. So strap in. This should be an excellent race.
Oh, for sure. I mean, daaanty is our #1 seed of not just the group stage, but also the bracket stage as well. Zelga also been playing Randomizer for a very long time, so this is going to be a very, very exciting matchup for sure.
Yeah, both of these two at the top of their games right now, as you would hope would happen this late in the tournament. And they get started right now as we get going, and we are in Link's house. The uncle is Error, and we are underway.
So as usual, the tourney settings for pretty much every match of this tournament, we are going to be doing a hard mode, hard item pool, standard mode start. So going to be going through escape here. Going to get a random item from the uncle that will allow us to get through the escape. Always fun to see what that first item is going to end up being. And today we have the Cane of Samaria, which I actually enjoy. This is one of my favorite starts.
Yeah, this one isn't bad. First of all, you love having the cane for the whole seed. It's got all kinds of crazy uses. It uses magic, but it doesn't use a ton of magic, so it's still pretty easy to farm up bombs if necessary. And it's a pretty reliable weapon. A lot of good setups for Samaria start.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, gonna make our way through the escape section now. Gonna be seeing potentially, actually I think they did kind of get an idea of what the prize pool is just from the first guards anyway. So not gonna be really worried about getting any guards down now.
Yeah, we just saw 10 arrows, or we just saw arrows out of that pack, and so that pack does not have bombs. If arrows are the first drop, we are looking for a bomb. Obviously, that would work, or a heart followed by a fairy, or a small magic. So the first chest of escape shows us the map.
There is, of course, another prize pack we'll be taking a look at a bit later in the sewers, but for now, just going to make our way through here, get the next 2 items, and then rescue Zelda, and then be back on our way to the front.
Zelga out to an insurmountable lead already.
Insurmountable.
There's a big 20, so nothing as of yet. Zelga a little bit cleaner through here. I'm sure both of these two are pretty nervous. A lot of nerves here. This is a semifinal match. You know, there could be upwards of 1,000 people watching, and so it's no joke at this level.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Zelga going with the hybrid pot, Samaria block strat, daaanty with the double pots. There we get 300 rupees in Zelda's chest. Nice to have some of that money right away, so we don't need to worry about buying bombs potentially in Kakariko Village, and we don't have to worry about the bottle vendor, and we're a good portion of the way towards Zoramoni as well.
Yep, always love seeing those 300s early. Like you said, gives you kind of a good start for all of those early rupee purchases you need to make. Kind of gives you an idea of like just a little bit of how you might want to even route the light world as well, just based on how you want to go around it. So definitely good to get those out of the way early.
Yeah, if we get early boots or an early moon pearl, we might be able to. We might see one of these two do a fake flipper after their trip through the South Shore. If we find a little bit more money in Kakariko, also that the cane is a powerful instrument for fake flippering as well through that splash delete technique. If some other things show up, the red boomerang, the OK boomerang, the bow would be helpful as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Pushing the mantelpiece there around 420. They're pretty good timeouts. I didn't catch where they were coming out of the basement. That's generally, I know with a normal escape coming out of the basement with Zelda about 4 minutes in. Looks like we're passing the ropes here. That we need to get the rats for the next prize back there. So here we go.
Mm-hmm. Hard to ferry.
There we go. So there will be an 8 bomb pack in this one. Now Zelga smartly used the big clump of rats in the upper right hand corner of that previous room, the first sewers room, in order to get a couple dropped out of the way. Daaanty did not, and so Dante's going to have to spend a little bit more time getting farther into the prize pack to get those bomb drops.
Yeah, he looks like he might be cutting it pretty close here as, okay, still haven't found it from Zelga. There it is.
I'm not sure that Dante's going to get there.
Yeah, I don't think he is either. But not going to be missing out on much. Just get another 300, which is nice. 20 rupees and just the single arrow.
Well, they got a unique item.
Yeah, it is a unique item. That's true.
Well, at least that's a weight off, right? You know, if it's gonna, you'd rather get this done right away, for sure. So nice and speedy, right around the 6-minute mark for Zelga as he exits and pulls the bug net out of the sank chest.
Okay, we did get a quick look at the dungeons. Looks like we have a green pendant at the Eastern Palace, as well as just single crystals at the Desert Palace and Tower of Hera.
Unsurprisingly, neither of our runners going up to check Lumberjack. They'll save that for when they get the boots. 50 more rupees there.
Yeah, Seed being very generous in terms of money this time.
So what's hiding out in Green Pendant Eastern today? I happen to know that neither of these runners is a big fan of dipping Eastern until forced to. So it'll be interesting to see if anything is hiding in there.
I'm going to say it'll have one of our Dark World items, maybe the glove in particular.
Okay. I like that. Anything else other than Dark World access that they can probably wait on. There might be things that would be make their lives a little bit easier, but I think if there's Dark World access piece in there, it could take both of these guys a little while. There's our first green 20 of the seed. That'll be a mail upgrade they're not allowed to have in the hard item pool. And blindside just coming up empty.
That's okay. We have a neighboring cave that has just as many items, so we could potentially find something over there.
Well, there's a bottle. You'll love to see that on their way through CAC and get that sick kid check out of the way. Oh, and hammer.
Yeah, love to see that as well. Gives us another item we can use to fight off enemies, as well as the book and the hook shots.
Yellow. The CAC well coming up big here for our first pieces of progression. Neither the hook shot nor the hammer unlocks anything right away, but that book certainly does.
Yes.
You know, it's interesting to see whether either of our runners gets baited by that early book into a desert dip when it is not at all anywhere close to full clearable. You might be able to get everything in the front, but of course, there's a 50-50 shot that it's going to be boots locked, no glove, no fire, can't kill Lambo. We do have that book, early book, always suspicious.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like you said, there's no major incentive to going there right now, but you know, there have been seeds where one of our Dark World items was just laying on that desert ledge, and you know, if someone decides to take a early play to check that out, could have at least a kind of an early lead, so to speak, in just kind of this early game routing here.
Just bombs on the library. We will not be returning for that. And Zelga's going to go check the race game, save and quit. I imagine hit the South Shore at this point. Oh, there's a sword. We're going to want that. Let's turn around and get it.
Yes.
Might be worth our runners thinking about doing going down the South Shore, but starting at Mini Moldorm Cave and going west. You might see a dam to Wagina and at least peak at desert kind of play, and then a save and quit over to Mini Moldorm Cave and Ice Rod Cave. Be interested to see whether either of our runners chooses to do that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we got our first sword about 11 minutes in. That's going to make traveling throughout the world a little bit easier for us. Does less damage than the hammer, but easier to handle.
Yes, for sure. And yeah, it looks like Zelga is going to the South Shore.
And in particular is going straight to Mini Moldorm Cave.
Okay.
So, yeah. And we'll see if, when he comes out of here, whether he takes a left-hand turn and goes to Dam. I imagine that he's going to head over to Ice Rod Cave, and with his current equipment, I can't imagine a fake flipper is incoming because of the lack of a Moon Pearl or boots. But Mini Moldorm Cave could check that, could change that. Dante's showing us the Dam on the other hand. Ooh, there's a flute, and there's the Moon Pearl for Dante.
And he is saving and quitting.
Yeah, you got to activate that flute. You know, it doesn't make sense if you're going to go on to Ice Rod Cave from there, or from the Dam. You may as well take the walk to activate it and save yourself some time. Dante turning right, not getting baited by that book, headed over to Mini Moldorm Cave, will get that flute. And with the Moon Pearl, I would imagine Dante's going to be awfully tempted to go do a fake flipper here.
Yeah, I think so as well. But yeah, I do like this flute acquisition from Zelga, getting that activated as soon as possible, because not only is it just faster traversal of the light world, but you know, we do have something kind of pointing to desert right now. That would be kind of a much faster way of checking that, in addition to Ice Rod Cave, as you mentioned. We also have the hook shot, so the mountain actually has some stuff on the table as well. So,
and with the hammer, Tower of Hera is accessible. With the hook shot, you can clear it.
That's true, yeah.
Of course, we might have some item trouble there.
Mm-hmm. It looks like
Zelga abandoning South Shore, headed right up the mountain. We'll see what daaanty does with this flute. Heading up the mountain is extremely defensible. I sort of hope he cleans up some of this other stuff down off the mountain first, just so we get a little bit of divergence here from our two runners. We see Zelga get 10 arrows from the old man check. Would you head straight up the mountain here?
Honestly, I think I probably would as well. Because, yeah, like you said, in addition to the East Death Mountain checks, you also have the Tower of Hera, which, you know, if you know Harapot, that is another dungeon you can clear, and we'll likely be coming back to the mountain later anyway, so that even that fire lock possibility isn't too bad. So, I can definitely see this play.
Yeah, it's certainly a density play. On the other hand, you know, maybe you find something here at Agina or Ice Rod Cave. We only saw 10 bombs, the Uncle Bomb pack there on the Desert Ledge. It's a heart container here.
Ooh, boots and bombos from Zelga.
Those are good finds. And daaanty's going to get those before too long. Here he is on the mountain as well. Top of Paradox Cave, an absolute bust. But, you know, luckily we got the boots and a medallion out of the bottom. So not as angry about that.
Yeah, not too often you see the lower side paying off more than the upper side. But hey, I'd take it with those two items.
I'm sure our runners very happy to see those boots. Nothing about this game feels quite as bad as not having the boots until, like, you know, 75, 80 minutes into a season.
Right, yeah, for sure. Also going to get some knowledge. Not going to be able to get this item, whatever it is, but can at least see what's on the tablet here. Just a little piece of love. Don't need to worry about coming back with that when we have the Master Sword.
Yeah, unfortunately for daaanty, his routing is not going to work out quite as well here. Doing this kind of more traditional, go up here, check spec rock, pet checks before you going to the right side. Zelga, on the other hand, went straight to the hookshot bridge, and as a result, got his boots a little earlier. So that's going to make these spec rock checks, you know, nothing as they were, but much easier.
Right, yeah.
Nice hook speed Harapot there from Zelga. We did see the small key, but we did see one item in the basement cage, a full heart container, and there's the mirror.
Ooh, and that's both items out of Hera as well. So
both of our runners going to be very happy to see that mirror. It locks a lot and opens a lot, but it is so convenient. Not having the mirror for a long time also feels really bad. So I'm sure they'll be happy to see that.
Yeah.
And a good point in chat, that mirror is logically fire locked because
that's true.
It's behind a big key door. So that does tell us something, at least, or at least it starts to narrow down the number of places that the lamp can be, or the fire rod.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and to that credit, you can almost kind of, and I only say kind of here, it's still something you're going to want to check out, but you can kind of like not prioritize mirror locations as much as some of the other locations as you're going through Dark World, but it's something our runners are still going to do just to kind of have peace of mind and kind of checking everything and making sure they find all the items they need.
Yeah, so to explain this to anybody here, that mirror was fire locked because it's upstairs in Tower of Hera. We didn't find the big key. We found the small key in the first two checks, which means the big key has to be in the fire locked basement. But we were able to get past that big key door there with the Harapot glitch, but we know that the game expects us, the logic of the seed expects us to get a fire source before getting that mirror. And so anywhere that locks the mirror can at most have one of our two fire sources there.
Right. And for example, if like our first fire source is very, very late in the seed, you can kind of make the inference that, like, well, okay, there's not going to be maybe much behind the mirror, so as a result, don't need to follow that as much, but it's still good knowledge to have at the very least. Kind of can change your routing a little bit.
Zelga finishing up Spiral Cave. It was nothing of worth about to get his Moon Pearl here in the dam. And we'll see where Zelga is heading after that. With the boots, I wouldn't be surprised to make him, I wouldn't be surprised for him if he made that dip at the desert at this point. This gives you one more check.
Yeah, with those boots, to be able to check the torches, and it's also good information to have as well. Like just knowing, like, how was this dungeon locked? Like, how was this dungeon basically prevented to be cleared?
He's going to do the Ice Rod Cave and Fake Flipper checks, presumably first here now with the Moon Pearl and the boots, able to do all kinds of shenanigans to get at these items up in the Zora area and break that Flipper logic here.
And at this point, though, it is kind of looking like if there is going to be something, like, I mean, obviously we have desert. We were talking about that earlier, but it's looking like there is going to be something in the Eastern Palace area, potentially.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at all. Still missing a glove for Dark World access here. Zelga did store a water walk here by setting up the water walk in Ice Rod Cave and then doing a regular Fake Flipper setup. And so that water walk state is still armed and will be until he jumps down off of a ledge. And also thanks to Reg, our tracker, wrestling with that tracking software. Thanks to Reg for keeping us on track and for trying to push those buttons when they very don't want to be pushed. There's a bottle on Lake Hylia Island. Probably won't be coming back for that since we already have one. daaanty probably choosing to skip Hobo here, having not stored a water walk. He is just going to delay Hobo, which makes more sense. Already having the mirror as well can be easy to check once you find the flippers. And there's our glove. Ooh, that glove is flippers locked. That is interesting.
Well, we have a vanilla flippers situation. Even then, like, we can't logically get here.
Zora's out of logic here, yeah.
So yeah, like.
So that could mean, that probably tells us some stuff about the other glove as potentially as well, as opposed to the flippers. They're still flippers locked. They might be. Well, yeah. I guess if they're flippers locked, and the other glove doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's very likely that we will probably see, like, I mean, we still have Eastern area, obviously, but yeah, like, there's a glove somewhere in the world that's kind of potentially blocking where we need to go next at this point.
Yeah, those are probably, either we'll find the flippers very soon, or those are our logical commits. But they are going to be important to keep an eye on, and it is good that both of our runners found that as well. Bonkrock's coming up, and the Zelga with those boots is headed up here for a lumberjack check.
I think that was a bottle.
I think so too, maybe with a blue potion in it, yeah. And Zelga right back to Ice Rod Cave to set up another water walk and gunning for those gloves.
Meanwhile, daaanty is just going straight over to Desert Palace to see what's exactly potentially in here.
I like both of these plays, honest.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard to pass up a glove like this, even if it is a sequence break. It just, you know, especially if it's going to give you Dark World access. But following that book, following what the seed is giving you, is a really, really great strategy too.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, it's gonna honestly could come down to just an instance like this divergence right here. This could honestly be the difference between this race, because yeah, that glove will give us early Dark World, but at the same time, like, it's almost wondering like how are we supposed to get to that glove? And maybe Dainty finds the way to get that other glove along with a couple of other items along the way, and it's just able to kind of route the rest of the seed a little faster. You really won't know until we start seeing what else is on the world tier as Zelga picks up his first glove upgrade.
And Desert not boots locked. We find the first item, the piece of heart over there in the compass chest, and then the big key vanilla. So we will see what else we have here. We can't beat land mode without a fire source. There's the map. We'll see if the final item is here in the big chest as the Zelga goes straight into the Dark World. We had a Dark World map check, didn't talk about it. We've got pendants at Pod and Swamp, and then it looks like our 5-6 crystals are Thieves Town and Ice Palace.
And we did find our second item in Desert, which is the mushroom, and looks like he's immediately checking that out, see what that's going to be. As from Hype Cave, not really a lot of hype today.
Yeah, nothing there for Zelga. Saw a question about how he did that double water walk. It's got a good explanation. You can just kind of set up 2 water walks and don't activate the nested one until you jump down from the waterfall there.
Yeah, looks like Dante is going to figure out what's exactly going to be putting those gloves in logic, as he is going over to the Eastern Palace area now.
Zelga going straight up to Pyramid Ledge. I can't imagine that he's going to Catfish before Palace of Darkness, but there he goes.
Whoa!
Here's our other glove and the flippers in Saha's hut.
And the ice rod on top of that.
And the ice rod, I didn't even see that. 3 required items.
Yes, all 3 are required in this scene. That's interesting.
Now, you know, that makes, unfortunately for Zelga, that makes his sequence break there a little bit rougher. He gets into the Dark World first, but Dante gonna have those mitts on making getting around in the Dark World significantly easier as well.
Mm-hmm. Now, one thing that's gonna, I think, really help Zelga here is if he does happen to find the bow. Because if he does get the bow, that's going to kind of put... I mean, they are both pendants, unfortunately, but if he gets to a point where he's, like, literally trying to find, like, the mitts, for example, that's going to put him over in that area sooner rather than later. He'll get those 3 items, and probably that'll just kind of push him in that direction.
Yeah, that's a good call. Good point. As Dante gets his gloves and the mitts, Zelga finds a Master Sword, the second of our 3 swords that we could find here in this hard item pool seed. We didn't talk about a hard item pool here as we continue on. Oh, Zelga turning right and going back across the water with a kern jump here.
There we
Third
go.
time's the charm. The goal there is to have the bomb explode when you're in the air so that it knocks you directly into the screen transition, at which point you go into the fake flipper state. Chat raising a good point. Ice Palace fully in logic at this point.
Oh, yeah, it definitely is. And not just Ice Palace, both of our red crystals as well, so Pyramid Fairy could be well within grasp too.
There's that blue cane from Catfish. Oh, interesting. Zelga mirroring and then mirroring back. Changing his mind about... Oh, did he not? Oh, he didn't get the cane, so he has to do it again.
Yeah. Which, Cane of Burna, not typically required, but could come into play if, like, Spike Cave and, you know, don't have the hearts for it or something, so...
Yeah, you always want one of those invincibility items. Especially with the implementation of Quick Swap and it becoming a big thing for everybody. All of a sudden, a lot of strats where having an invincibility item would be really helpful and optimal, but not if you had to menu. Suddenly, all of those strats are race viable. So nice to have one of those in your inventory. Dig game requiring us to work for it today. All of that for a piece of heart.
I played the dig game, and all I got was this lousy piece of heart.
Alright, well, there's our third sword. So both of our... Well, at least Zelga's going to be on Tempered. I imagine, having come to the Dark World from the... Or come to the village area from the south, I imagine daaanty is going to... combo in a Graveyard Ledge check and a King's Tomb check, so we'll get that Tempered Sword there. So we'll see about that, but you hope for his sake, because that there would be one other sword in the pool, but I definitely want to see that Tempered Sword.
Yeah, with the items in daaanty's possession right now, he just kind of has a nice opportunity to kind of just do some clockwise routing around the Dark World. He has the mitts, he has the mirror. He just basically has the convenience of being able to check all of these locations as he's kind of going around in that little half-circle formation. So that's pretty much going to be his route, I think, unless he gets something incredibly unique that pushes him, like, maybe to, like, Turtle Rock or something, like if he finds Fire Rod at some point. So he's going to be on a nice, comfortable route for a while.
He is going to go ahead and grab the purple chest right away. With that flute, makes sense to come out here, mirror, flute away, turn in the purple chest, then flute back and hop right back into the portal, and then you're here right by Thieves Town again. Zelga already halfway done with Thieves Town. Did not catch the number of items that we saw in the front, but we don't have the small key yet. Well, and there's Magic Powder for daaanty, so he gets to go right back and opens up another check. Fetch quests leading to fetch quests. daaanty, come on.
That guard was against fetch quests. But yeah, once again, our tracker reg also pointing out something very interesting is that potentially we're kind of in a state where...
Did you see what was on Magic Bat there?
I did, and I was just getting ready to call attention to that too. This is the interesting thing. daaanty could be in a potential go mode state right now.
Yeah.
All he needs to know is what the medallion is for Meyer, because
he's going to get it. He's no.
I
thought he was going to go check that right now. He's just fluting back here.
Honestly, I would check that at this point, because that would be...
Well, I mean, I guess you need to do Thieves Town and Skullwoods anyway, right? So there are two, there are two schools of thought, right? Either you go and check those immediately, right, to get to where that to get to know what the medallion is, so you know when you can stop opening chests, right? But
Right.
the other thing is that's the only thing that it could be that's keeping you out of go mode at this point, right? And
Right.
from Dancy's perspective, he still needs another sword or two, and so may as well. You're going to have to open chests in these dungeons anyway, so you may as well do them and then and then put it off. But I wouldn't be surprised if he does it if he goes to Mire. This might draw him away from Graveyard Ledge, as a matter of fact.
Right. But yeah, like someone was bringing up the potential for bow, and yeah, while the bow would be logically required, there is the mimic clip, and as we called attention to before, both Eastern and Pod are pendants, so bow technically not even going to be required for these runners if they know how to do the mimic clips.
Yeah, unless we've got Ether on Armos Knights or Helma.
Right.
No bow necessary here. Now that sequence break, the stored water walk to get those gloves off of the Zora ledge, looming large already in how this seed is playing out. Zelga, with those sequence broken gloves off of the Zora ledge, got into the Dark World first, but Daaanty got them logically, which means he found the other glove and flippers in Sah's closet. And so Zelga is not going to be able to do the smiths on this trip, and so can't do the purple chest, and so can't do magic bat, and so no fire rod.
Right.
So this could turn out, despite the fact that both of them, like went to where the items were, right? As it were, it turns out a lot worse for Zelga, unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah, they both went to where the items were. It's just Daaanty went to where there were more items.
And in the right order,
Yes.
Like that, that's so critical.
Yeah. That's pretty much what I was saying earlier. Like, oh well, there's a. Oh, we knew that already. But that's what I was saying earlier. Is that pushing for those out of logic gloves was a very strong and aggressive play, but the counter of that is just that, yeah, like while Danny was looking for the logical access for those gloves, found a whole bunch of other stuff along the way and got closer to go mode and could potentially be in that state again once he finds a sword and checks out what the medallion requirements are.
Daaanty pulls that small key in the worst possible place for it, in blind cell. You're so close to being able to escape having to go to the big chest. And then it's just a piece of heart, which is great. And Zelga giving us this Bombos tablet check, assumedly gonna head into desert at this point. I would think. Got pushed there a little bit. That was interesting.
Yeah, I saw that too. That was interesting.
Now, I will say, if Zelga goes into desert here, gonna get that mushroom, right? And without the powder, he could go and fake powder turn that powder into a fire rod and avoid having to do the smiths and purple chest at all.
This is true.
Daaanty falling off script there on the blind fight for a minute, but able to put it away. That's crystal number 2 for Daaanty. We are all tied up once again.
And yeah, he's going to check the rest of these houses here, so he will find his second sword at the very least.
That's true, and also makes sense that he would continue opening these chests. Of course, from Dante's perspective, he also still needed another sword in order to be close to go mode. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is the Meyer check right here.
Yeah.
Here we go.
It's Quake. We have that.
So at 38 minutes and 45 seconds, Dante's in go mode.
Well, we still need the Turtle Rock medallion and knowledge too.
Oh, that's true. That's true. But I wouldn't be surprised if he heads up there very shortly. I imagine he kills. Biddy here, and Lambo for that matter. We do need to know TR. Sorry, I got so excited. By Meyer. No need for that bow. Both Pod and Eastern are pendants, and I'm sure both of these two can clip those mimics off the screen in the GT Tower climb. So I'm sure they'd like a bow. But yeah, and Dante making a beeline to Turtle Rock here.
Yeah, so we're going to get that information very, very shortly.
Why not knock out those dungeons? Because you might not need to check anything in Meyer besides looking for the big key. And so coming up here to check what the Turtle Rock medallion is, if you have it, if it's Bombos or Quake, you get to go mode every other crystal dungeon in the game.
Yeah. And, you know, Meyer's an interesting case, too, where it's like you could get the big key first, and it's so much quicker than having to check everything, because you have the cutscene chest, and just have to kind of walk around through a couple of different room transitions as well, so...
Zelga getting the news that Saha's hut is absolutely loaded. He is absolutely going to bail on Pod and Eastern right here, I would imagine.
Yeah, I think so, too. Well, obviously, he already has, but...
All right, moment of truth. It is Bombos now at 40 minutes and 35 seconds. Dante is in go mode in game one of this semifinal match.
Yeah, unfortunately, like to be in the same state, Zelga will need to pick up that fire rod, which it is accessible to him right now. We know it's we know it's on the magic bat.
But I believe Zelga got that mushroom and turned it in before going to Saha. And so it will need to do that whole cycle, and nobody likes doing Smith Chain, like going back to the village for Smith Chain. It might be a long time before Zelga does that.
Yeah.
See the lamp and hook stock here. A nice quality life item. Dante still opening chest, looking for a sword, presumably.
Yeah, and that lamp will be really, really nice, because, you know, there are some... Especially in Misery Mire, like the dark rooms in there can be pretty brutal. Definitely doable without the lamp, but so much better when you do actually have it.
Might still be looking for a bow. Certainly having a bow is nice. You'd prefer to have it. Mimic Clip is hard, and not just like tricky to pull off. Like it is physically difficult to do, and so. You know, or I'm sure runners would want to avoid doing it if possible.
Mm-hmm.
But,
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, Dante going straight into TR.
Yeah, I mean, it's up here. Might as well do it. There's a lot of chests along the way, so if you do find that sword, like, you'll feel secure enough for the rest of the seed, or even a bow for that matter, so...
Yeah, people asking why Dante's still doing checks. It's absolutely he's looking for a sword, right? He's not going to go out of his way to do checks, but Hookshot Cave and Super Bunny are extremely quick right there. I wouldn't be surprised if he does Laser Bridge here looking for a sword. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't either, but he very easily could. Yeah, and in case anybody was wondering, there are still 4 swords in the pool. There are still 2 bows in the pool, but if you try to pick up the 4th sword or the 2nd bow, it just becomes a green 20.
Mm-hmm. And to very quickly answer a question in chat, the third sword, the sword that Zelga has that Daaanty doesn't, was in the Graveyard Ledge.
Yeah, Zelga hookshot it over there after doing Pyramid Ledge and before doing Catfish, and then turn jump back to do Catfish and stay over there. So was able to get that Tempered Sword, which really is the big, that's the only advantage at this point that Zelga has on Daaanty. So.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's all he's got kind of going for him right now. Oh, well, never mind. Yeah.
All right, Daaanty is in full-on go mode. You won't see him open a single chest that he doesn't need to anymore at this point.
Unless it's like so freaking in the way, like literally, like you walk right by it. In that case,
you're opening it accidentally. Like maybe you pull the bow there. Maybe you pull half magic out, and that could be pretty helpful as well.
Oh no, I've tripped and accidentally opened this chest. Oh no.
I mean, oh, I'm walking by this chest and my hands did what they normally do instead of what I told them to do this time, Meanwhile, Zelga with a pretty nice cold stare fight. Let the puffs get away from him a little bit. Was able to clean it up pretty well. That's crystal number 3 for Zelga. Could see him going towards Pyramid Fairy as well. He now has both of those 5/6 crystals. That lamp was a great find for Daaanty as well. Without half magic, less important now with Tempered Sword, but without half magic, you'd really like to have that lamp in a Ganon fight.
Oh yeah, definitely. Now it is actually kind of interesting here. Like Zelga is going to be pretty much funneled into that Fire Rod soon. Anyway, because right now all he has to complete is Mire, and he will spend some time going through there looking at items for sure. But
he can't do Desert here.
Can't do Skull Woods, and can't. I don't remember what the first chests were in Turtle Rock in their layout, but no Fire Rod. Likely won't be able to get too far into Turtle Rock.
The big key was in the compass chest, so he can't go anywhere in Turtle Rock.
Okay, so yeah, right there, like he's gonna be kind of funneled. Now, if he gets like lured over to like Pod and Eastern, that could definitely waste a lot of time.
And Daaanty here has to be feeling pretty confident checking these laser bridge checks. To be in go mode at 40 minutes, you have to think that you just God routed this scene, right? So you can probably feel comfortable enough to take some time to open some chests like these 4 here on a laser bridge. Needed that key as well, which is much more important than what I was saying. So, never mind.
that happens. That happens.
Zelga up on Death Mountain, going to get his lamp here in hookshot pulling shortly, which could push him even farther away from Smith Chain. With that lamp, he can beat Desert and Mire pretty easily.
Right. He does get that knowledge, though, that at this point, like, he just needs to find that Fire Rod.
The worst thing Zelga could find would be the bow.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Right, if he ends up going into Misery Mire and finding the bow after the big key or something like that, that could push him. Actually, regardless of when he finds of where he finds the bow, that could, if it's before the fire rest, before Smith Chain, he's gonna go into pod and Eastern. I would bet.
Right. Plus, he does kind of have Swamp Palace just kind of on his agenda too, potentially, so that could also be a big distraction.
That's a good point. He really needs to do Smith Chain. In order to have a shot here, he's got to do Smith Chain before doing, before diving into Pendant Swamp.
Yeah.
But I don't know how he does. I would do Pendant Swamp first, that's for sure. Especially now that my mirror's in logic with that lamp.
No, it looks like he is going to be going to Mire and Desert. He's not going to really lose a lot of time from Desert because it's just got the back left, so that's nothing. But Mire, depending on where the items are and where the big key is, that could be quite a bit of a time sink.
A French vanilla cake up there in Spike Cave is what we saw. That's good. I see you, Hydra, calling for Dogmire, and I've never heard that before, but I know exactly what it means, and I love that. Down goes Moth for daaanty, just a compass.
And right there, that gives daaanty the crystal lead, something he hasn't had until this point.
Dogmire is a reverse Godmire. Godmire is when you get the big key early in one of the first two chests, so a Dogmire is you don't, and it's super late. daaanty buying a potion, which I assume means that he's headed to Ice Palace?
Yep, that would be my guess as well. And we find the bow.
Oh no. As if Zelga needed anything else to pull him away from the Smith Chain.
He does find both items. Are we going to have a big key on the cutscene chest?
Yeah, and that also means that daaanty is gonna find that bow. You know, there's without the big key, you know, since it's not a Godmire, that the compass chest there is gonna be the first one to check. Look at the big key, so he is gonna find that bow. Nice for Vitreous and rip Mimic Clip in this scene. So Zelga's mushroom is still on the tracker. I thought that I saw in chat that he had checked it, that he checked it before going to stop.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did, so.
Yeah, so that's unfortunate, and with the flute did not end up, I'm sure, saving and quitting after that. Wasn't even thinking about fairy powder. Which unfortunately was one of his very few outs at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and a vanilla big key in Eastern. There's that Dogmire we were talking about. daaanty choose to make a couple checks here in Ice Palace. Wanted that key, perhaps.
But yeah, there's no way that Dante is gonna miss that bow. Like, you're not checking that. You're not checking cutscene without checking the chest that's above the torture room. So.
And without the big key, you're not hitting the
Yeah.
switch and then going right. You know, you're not going to go back out to the lobby chest and then check the big chest before either of those firelock chests. So he's absolutely going to find that bow. That's going to be the next thing to find.
Yeah.
So yeah, in case you're wondering, the difference here, two major differences here. First, the first glove that we saw was on Zoralege. Zelga decided to sequence break it with a double water walk, and so that was his first glove. Dante decided to stay in Logic and then got the other glove and the flippers and the ice rod all in Saha's closet. So Dante has followed Logic specifically, and then with those with the mitts decided to start at his first Dark World trip at Hype Pit, allowing him to pick up the Smiths on his way into the Village of Outcasts. He did the entire Smith chain. The Magic Powder was on Purple Chest, and the Fire Rod was on, or the Magic Powder was in Purple Chest, and the Fire Rod was on Magic Pad. Yeah, so sometimes you beat the seed, and sometimes the seed beats you.
Mm-hmm.
People are talking about what kind of time Dante could end up with here. I think I agree with the consensus that 110 is out of reach. He's still got a cutscene big chest Dogmire. He's got to beat Lanmo here and then find the GT big key. So I'm not sure that he's going to be able to do all of those things in 15 minutes.
It's still going to be a really fast seed for sure. But
yeah. Don't get me wrong. Oh man, 1:15, so slow. Significantly faster than my personal best. But yeah, I think at this point the only limiting factor is where that Gansteller big key is. People are asking where the bow is in Misermire. Dante's about to get it. The Fire Rod was on Magic Bat from Powder on Purple Chest.
And with that, Zelga gets his 5th crystal, so he has tied the crystal amounts again, but little does he know that Dante's on his way to getting his 6th and 7th pretty close to each other, so gonna need to make it over to the blacksmith chain, as you said.
And I can't, yeah, he's, and this is either Pyramid Fairy or Pendant Swamp. I'm not sure Zelga makes it back to Smith Chain at this point.
Yeah, it would have been nice if he maybe kind of considered, well, I'm going to go to Swamp. Maybe I should just take care of Smith Chain along the way. But even then, when you just get the powder, like, you're still probably going to be lured in by Swamp anyway.
Yeah. Dante saving a little bit of time and doing cutscene right after the compass chest, so going to get that big key a little bit faster. Has there been a match where the winner had 20 hearts? Not in this tourney. This is hard item pool, and so the number of hearts that they can get is limited to 14.
Yeah, and also not to mention, if you're getting 20 hearts in a rando seed, you're probably not going to be finishing the fastest.
Nope. Well, there's half magic, so we know that Dante is not going to get that along the way, because they're in Pyramid Fairy. Not a big deal now that he's found that Tempered Sword.
Yep, and it looks like, I'm guessing he's Zelga's going to be lured over by, yep, Palace of Darkness and Eastern Palace.
Yeah, that's where that bow being on the path is just gonna, this is unfortunately going to come up completely empty for Zelga, which you hate to see.
Yeah, because honestly, like at this point, like from his perspective, this does seem like a good play. I mean, that's...
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
9, 10 items, I think, if you count. Yeah, 9 with the green pendant. So, yeah, that's a lot of stuff over here in this location. You gotta expect the fire rod to be at least potentially here, but little does he know, the 9 items on the other side would be a better venture. From going from Smith Chain to Swamp would have been a much better option.
Daaanty making good use of that right-hand side of the video arena. If you are all the way over against the right-hand wall, you can walk on the goo perfectly safely and not take any damage. And it's really easy to hit those eyes from the side with the bow. So there's Daaanty's crystal number 6.
And yes, Daaanty has already dipped Desert. He got the big key, so all he has to do is just go to the back.
And we have our first and only prediction here in the channel. Where is that Ganon's Tower big key going to be? You get to choose between odd or even, and risk your challenge points or your channel points. And if you win, you get more points. You can spend on more predictions. Good.
And well, since this is game 1 of the series, I will go with an odd number myself.
I also went odd for the most random of numbers, 9. Lincoln, you missed it. There was that Lambo fight on Dante's side.
Yeah.
He's headed to GT in the 62nd minute.
Yeah, and like he literally just finished like Meyer like right before the hour mark, so that was a very, very quick clear of Desert at the back of it anyway.
People putting numbers in chat. If you haven't figured it out by now, they're trying to guess where the GT big key is. Zelga fails from pod in the middle of the dark basement. I was not counting items in there. I'm not gonna lie. That seemed like a weird choice. Yeah, and I see some discussion in chat. Zelga absolutely, played this seed just fine, right? I think it was extremely defensible, and at the time I thought it was a good I thought it was the right decision to go sequence break that glove there. It just opens up so much. Rando's gonna rando, and this time that sequence break just did not work out for Zelga. And so Daaanty is here in Ganon's Tower. There's a key on the torch, but it's not the right one. So we continue on.
Yeah, Dr. RM in chat actually says, I think, what basically describes this perfectly. A good journey in the wrong direction is still a good journey. And
That is true.
yeah, I agree with that completely.
Anti setting up for a Dark Magician here. Gonna mirror out instead of killing those Stalfos. That room is empty, so we're up to number 5, number 6 and 7 here in Hope Room.
And yeah, really, when do you see Sahasrala's closet with that many required items anyway? Like,
Yeah, that was nuts. Gloves, flippers, and ice rod in Saha's closet. Does not get much more loaded than that. Alright, Dante into the compass room with a big 20. 300 rupees the map. And a piece of heart. Gonna grab this key here and head back over to the other side.
yeah, at this point, it's looking like kind of around that 115 finish. Looks pretty believable at this point.
Yeah, I would say so. Like, unless we end up having to go to Ice Armos all the way, and then, you know, perhaps a failed hover on the on Moldor 2, which I imagine Dante is going to do instead of just using the hook shot. You know, all sorts of things could go wrong. But you know, yeah, hard to play a seed better than Dante did this time around. Armos Knights with the OK Boomerang. We love to see that. Just a big 20 on Saha himself. Keeping all the goods in his closet. Zelga is frustrated. And this... Oh, no, this is Swamp Palace now instead of Smith Chain. You hate to see that.
Yeah, that is just very unfortunate.
Alright, that key is about as deep in TR as it can get here. We are headed to Ice Armos, Bob's Chest and Ice Armos, and then Tile Room, the only checks left.
Okay, we are going to Ice Armos.
Yeah, really happy you have bow for this, for sure. If Dante hadn't had the bow, I wouldn't have been surprised if he had done Tile Room first.
I don't know. I do not see very many Tile Room gambles.
Well, yeah, but, you know, if it's not... There it is, number 21 behind Ice Armos. But, like, you know, definitely not. Like, it's not something you see every day, obviously. But,
yeah.
you know, if you know you're here without the bow, right, then, like, maybe a bow is in here, you know, but you don't have the cane, right? The Cane of Burnout, which is a great item against Armos. Yeah, odd coming through for everybody, for me and you as well.
Don't mind me, I'm just speaking out of bitterness from the one time I checked tile room early. It actually did cost me a race.
Oh no! Sad to hear that. daaanty, our #1 seed all the way through the tournament, showing that off here. A very clean again tower for the most part here. We're going to take a second and come in here to the refill room, grab a fairy and that full magic drop, getting ready for the gauntlet. Makes a lot of sense. With only 2 arrows, you're not going to be able to lean on the bow through here, which can be a helpful item. You're going to, or at least going to get maybe 2 shots here. Or none. That's fine too. Game 2 of this series is scheduled at the same time tomorrow, 6:10 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on SpeedGaming 1 as well. We do not have times yet for the other semifinal between Gamachu and Obscure Lifeform. I think we've got some more difficult time zone issues in that matchup, so they might be having a bit of a harder time getting those scheduled, but those will certainly be restreamed as well.
And also, once again, at the same time on Friday, if there is the need for it, Game 3 of this series will be on this Friday. But again, that'll depend largely on if Zelga can pull it back for Game 2 and force a Game 3.
Which is what we all want, right? The only thing...
Oh, for sure.
Like, obviously, if you've got a close friend at this point, you're going to root for them, but... If you don't have a strong rooting interest, the best thing is to root for a win or go home games. That's what you want to see. I'm not super close to either of these guys. I don't feel too bad saying that I'll be pulling for Zelga hard in game number 2, just so we get a game number 3.
Mm-hmm. And really, there's been a lot of game 3s in this tournament. Like, it just seemed like... As someone who looks at the schedule often and needs to keep the challenge updated and everything, it's just always interesting saying, wow, okay, this Game 3 is going to be required. And it's just, there's been a lot of them for this tournament.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, let's see, Zelga went 2-0 against Paradox in round 1 of brackets, 2-0 against Fear Agent in round 2, but did have to go through Allison in 3 games and Ninban in 2. There, on the other hand, daaanty has played a couple game 3s already. Went to 3 games with Waterloo in round 1 after dropping the first game. Went 2-1 on Goomba, 2-0 on P-Train, and then 2-1 on Blaine in the quarterfinals. So both of these two have played a bunch of rando and have faced elimination before in this tournament multiple times. So no stranger to that situation will Zelga be tomorrow.
Okay, so we're starting the Aga 2 fight for daaanty.
This misses a double there on the first go rounds. Nice triple.
Yeah, not a bad thing to get a triple, especially after those starting singles anyway.
Zelga looking like he's going to do this is Smith Chain right here. He doesn't have a whole lot left, so he could be getting his fire rod right as daaanty is finishing up this Ganon fight. Dash strats is so risky on 4 hearts. You touch Ganon and you are dead. Pops that blue potion there. Immediately takes a fire bat and another fire bat.
Oh, and he's not even out of the fire bat phase yet.
Already used that only potion. And so can't afford to use the cape here into phase 3. Past the really dangerous part at this point.
Yeah, just needs to take it easy, play it safe, and should be good to go.
No, we did not find the arrows on Planet Zebes. "12 spins here to win. Zelga headed right over to Magic Bat after getting that powder. Gonna get that fire rod. And there it is. Get your GGs in chat for daaanty, #1 seed in the tournament, taking game 1 against zelgadissan in dominating fashion. Congratulations to daaanty. Zelga just entered go mode and gets the bad news, and he will forfeit here. daaanty finishing with an official racetime.gg time of 1 hour, 15 minutes, and 43 seconds flat. GG's to both of our runners. Hopefully we'll get both of them here for an interview momentarily. And we are joined in the booth by both daaanty and Zelga. GG's to both of you.
Yo, GG's, man.
Yo, GG.
daaanty, I'm going to start with you. When you realized that you were in go mode at around 40 minutes, what was going through your brain?
Well, I was feeling okay, but I kind of had the same, I don't know, I kind of felt like Zelga was potentially right behind me. I kind of assumed most likely he would at least have the knowledge of that other glove and probably get it as early as I did, if not before. Because I didn't feel great about the desert play, but I was feeling a little skittish about no lamp, master sword, 1 bottle, Ganon, and
Understandably.
Luckily there was a lamp in hookshot, and I was like, okay, well that's good, and then the extra sword showed up to get me up to tempered in Turtle Rock, and I was like, okay, well this is good, and I was like, well that guarantees that most likely he is going to get this too, so there's not going to be any, sword disadvantage, and I was like, I'm gonna operate like I'm in go mode, and just see what I can find. Like I did and didn't want the bow to show up, and then it kind of did, and then I was really grateful later on that it did when the big key was behind Armos, because that would have been a pretty rough fight without Berna. Only had the one bottle, so it's not like I could spam Fire Rod or anything, and it wouldn't have been the nicest fight, to say the least.
No, absolutely. And then Zelga, totally defensible decision to go sequence break that glove on Zora Ledge. Didn't work out for you today. Talk us through your thought process there.
I mean, it's more or less just, it's honestly just kind of fairly simple to me. It said, I see swamp as a pendant, so I know that the flippers are potentially skippable. And you don't expect the flippers to also be by the other glove and the ice rod. You expect it's just going to be sitting in a one-off spot like desert, or even if it's in the closet, you don't think everything's going to be right there. So I felt like I was fine to just go ahead and leave only the flippers behind somewhere. Obviously, when it's a lot more important than just the flippers, you get this.
Yeah, it was pretty stacked. I was kind of the mindset, considering I had done everything else. Like, I was like, let's just go do Saha into Pendant Eastern. And my fear was that I was going to find like a lamp and a sword or a cape, and then it was going to be some kind of weird forced Aga seed logically. And then, like, the flipper showed up and the glove showed up, and I was like, oh, okay, well, here's some really important items, like, all right here. And then I just kind of thought, well, let's, route this in. I didn't really consider the fact that I might be in go mode until, obviously, the fire rod showed up, and then, like, I had to actually think that through. I like, the entirety of Thieves Town, I was like, I might actually be in go mode. I need to do some scouting. So, it was kind of a weird feeling. I don't think I've ever had a seed like that, to be honest.
Yeah, and with go mode coming so quickly, it almost takes you by surprise. I would imagine, where you're like, oh wait, holy crap! You look at your track, and it's like, all I need is to know what those medallions are, and we might be ready to go here. Very disconcerting that early on in the seed, I would imagine. All right, my friend here in the booth, Slim. Do you have any questions for our runners?
Not particularly. I covered all the main points, obviously. Obviously with the fire rod being on Magic Bat, obviously the question of fake powder came up, and obviously neither of you decided to really go that route. Was that on either of your minds as a potential check, or were you just kind of like just not really thinking about that?
It wasn't really on my mind. Like, it's not something I'm gonna actively go out of my way to do. If everything lines up perfectly, where I'm headed to Kakariko and my magic sucks and things like that, maybe I'll go ahead and throw that in there too.
Mm-hmm.
But especially when I got the mushroom, honestly, it was just more of trying to close up the logic. Because at that point, I kind of thought I needed to get the flippers, maybe to go to Swamp for my bits. So I was thinking, well, maybe those were the flippers. So I'm just going to turn that in immediately.
Yeah, I kind of had the same mindset of, all right, Shroom's going to lead to flippers. And I really, like, I thought about it for a half second, but it's like, this is such a time investment. And, if it was Key Sanity, that's maybe something you consider a little more, I think, more often than not. But just because you can do a trick like that doesn't mean that it's the smarter play. Today it would have been, but most times it's in a non-keys or a non-like map compass shuffle type scenario. It's not really. I don't think it's like a high percentage play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense.
All right. Well, game 2 between these two scheduled tomorrow, Wednesday at 6:10 p.m. Eastern Time. Same Magic Bat time, same Magic Bat channel. Hopefully not same Magic Bat contents there, at least for Zelga's sake. But once again, GG's to both of you. Thank you for joining us for an interview, and good luck to both of you tomorrow in game 2. I'll be watching.
Thanks. And thank you guys for the commentary, the tracking, and the restreaming. Huge GG's to Zelga, and really looking forward to game 2.
Yeah, I would second all that, especially the GG's to me part. But yeah, GG's to daaanty. This is going to be a really tough matchup for me, and I knew it going in. So obviously this isn't the way I wanted the series to start, but there's no shame in losing races to daaanty. So even if it's a 2-0, I'm not going to feel too bad about this.
Well, we were saying sometimes you beat the seed and sometimes the seed beat you, and you've been playing fantastic through this entire tournament. So I'm definitely not counting you out yet either, Zelga. So I'll be looking forward to game 2 tomorrow, and I hope you all are as well. Our bot's broken, so I can't put their handles in chat. But make sure you give these two runners a follow. They put on a great show for you here today. Follow them on Twitch, and thanks again to my co-com Slim Kirby. Nice working with you, sir.
Thank you very much, Tyler Salt. Enjoyed working with you as well. Thank you, Reg, for all the tracking that you did for us. And of course, once again, one final GG to both of our runners. Putting on an amazing show. We are in the semifinals. Just a few quick matchups left, and we'll have a tournament victory. It's going to be very, very heated competition the rest of the way. Definitely stick around and join us for the rest of these matches. It's going to be wild.
Yeah, we are in the home stretch. Like I said, started with 128 runners. We are down to the final number more than 3, which I'm going to say because I don't want the NCAA to come down on us. Anyway, thanks everybody for watching. Once again, I'm Tyler Salt with Slim Kirby. GG's to daaanty and Zelga. And keep an eye out for more rando action here on the SpeedGaming family of networks. Have a good evening, everybody.
Yep, later, folks. See you guys next time.